it says that He Deva, so Deva Dehe means in the body of Bhagwan, he's seeing all that. Yeah. And the other thing that he says, I am seeing, what is he saying? I'm so many devatas, so many devatas. And he had some experience of what devatas look like because he had spent 1 year in Swarga. He was, he was given a special privilege to learn all the Divyastra there. So when he went there, so he had some experience, but he says, not all the devatas that I see there. It's like a, all kinds, maybe way more than what I had experienced in Swarglok. So because he had a very limited exposure, so the Bhut Vishesha Sanghana, so many different beings. Beings doesn't mean just the what we see in the human. This is from Patal Lok all the way to Brahma Lok, So all kinds of beings that are available there. Some we are not able to see because they are not in our uh, exposure at this time. So, when we say so many kind, like we have, like when we say this is the Bhava, Swaha, Maha, Jana, Tapa, Satyam, all these lokas above us, and then all the way to Patal Lok. So all these different lokas are there, and they are, everything is experienced by Arjuna in one place at one time. So this is the beauty of it. And what does he say after that? He says, I am seeing Brahmaji. Brahma, Brahmanamisham Kamalastar Sanastam. That means I see Brahmaji sitting on that Kamala. So the things that we have heard in the books, the description, he was seeing it in front of him. So seeing Brahmaji like that is amazing, because to go to Brahmalok, you have to have done so much tapas, but he was just got Bhagwan's kripa, to be able to see that. And and then he says, because Brahmaji lives in Brahmalok, so, and then he sees all the rishis. He says, I am seeing all the different rishis there, all the Sapta Rishi, Deva Rishis, all kinds of rishis. It was like Kumbh Mela of rishis, he was seeing all that in one place, And Urgan. Urgan is serpents, the snakes, not just snakes that we see here, but they are Divyan, the divine snakes, like Sheshanag or Vasuki or some other different kinds that are not even, here on earth. So, and they were, and, so this is what he was seeing. This is like his experience, of that he is describing what he's seeing. And in the next one, it says, Anek Bahu Udara Vaktra Netram. That means he was seeing many, many hands, stomachs, mouths, eyes. Everything was right in front of him, He's seeing that. Pashyami Twam, and Sarvato Ananta Rupam. I am seeing, and everything is your roop only. See, that's the thing that we have to understand. They are not like separate things. Bhagwan alone is in all these forms, So this is how he is, because he had that Divya Drashti. So he's seeing Bhagwan's Vishwaroop, So in that he's saying, and in the end, in the last line, he says, Vishveshwara Vishwarupam, that you are the Lord of it, as well as you are that everything, So Aneka Bahu Udara Vaktra Netram. So Udar is stomachs, So he is seeing a lot of stomachs in one place, in that one form. In the Vishwaroop, he was seeing everything right there. And so many stomachs, like Udara, So Vaktra is mouth. So mouth is where, the how you eat or where you talk from. So all that is something that he was seeing. And, like we did, and Netra, eyes. So everywhere he was seeing all that, it's so hard to even imagine, but Ved Vyasji has tried to put it in a very poetic form for us to get at least a partial exposure to this, So Sarvato Ananta Rupam. So everywhere there is no end to it. This Vishvarupa, there is like na antam na madhyam. There is no middle, no end. It is just expanse, So he says, I don't see an end. Normally, when you buy something, you get a plat of survey and you say, okay, what is my border? This is where I'll have my house. But here, there is no end. Like everything and what you have imagined, what you cannot even imagine, everything is that part, So this is what, because Arjuna wanted to see, is there a limit to Bhagwan's glory? He said, no, there is no end to it. So normally we have this idea that there is Lord and there is this universe, we have this kind of imagination. Bhagwan is controlling the universe, but here he says, you alone are the universe. You are the Vishwarupa and Vishveshwara, Ishwar, as well as the the Vishwaroop, So both you are alone, It's like, in Yoga Vasisht, there used to be an example, when suppose in the early morning, you know, they say in old Indian households, they used to have a Roshandan, where the light would come from. Or sometimes there is, say, a small portion that is not covered by the curtain, and the light starts to come in. And when you see that light in a dark room, only that light is there, and you see so many different, you know, particles are there. You, do you have you experienced that? You know, in that light, you see so many particles. They are. It's not one. It's like millions of those in just one light. You will see that. Or in the old times, movie theaters, when they projected from, from the back, and in that light, you will see a lot of particles too. So it's like, those particles are there, but we never see them with our naked eye. Only when you are exposed to it, then only it. Um, so, so like that, he was seeing several universes in that. That's what I could think of. What he must be going through, what Arjuna must be seeing. Because here, that's how he was saying that you are the Vishveshwara and you are the Vishwarupam. That every form is you only, Bhagavan. I am seeing you in every form. That's the idea that the Arjuna is trying to convey here. Because everything that he's seeing is so out of this world, so adbhut, that how to describe it, but still he is doing a wonderful job. you know there is a story about Ramchandraji, when he first time was visiting Janakpuri, and he entered this Pushpa Vatika. At the same time, Sita ji, along with some friends, was coming to, there was this one Devi Mandir there. So she was going to, go pray there. And one of the friends, one of her friends got left behind. She got a glimpse of Bhagwan. And she got so excited. Bhagwan means at that time Ramchandra ji in that human form, but for her it was like so divine that she ran to Sita ji to say, I saw, somebody who is the right person for it. All the friends said, describe, who is it? He says, I can't describe, Say, why can't you describe? She says, Gira anayan, nayan binuvani. कहता gira means the the tongue, how we speak. So the speech had no eyes, and the eyes have no tongue. So the one who saw and the one who describes are two separate things. So they have they are not able to convey it correctly. But so here, but Arjun is doing really a good job here. Then he says, now he's seeing, the Vishnuroop as is. He says, Kiritinam Gadinam Chakrinam cha. Then Tejo Rashim Sarvato Dipta Manantam. So says, what I see, Bhagwan, I see your Vishwaroop, and in that I see you wearing golden crown, Kiritinam, in that wonderful crown that you are wearing, and in your hands I see Gada and Chakra. Then you also have to imagine that Shankha and Padma is also there, though it may not be written here. So he's seeing, Bhagwan's roop like that. Tejo Rashim Sarvato Dipta Mantam, So, and the Tejo Rashim, Tejo, that means mass of brilliance. It was like so much uh, energy, so much brilliance was there, like light in all directions, So he says, even with the Divya Chakshu, I am having a hard time focusing, I am hard time understanding that, Pashami Tvam Durniriksham. Yeah, it is hard to just understand what is going on. It is too much, even with the Divya Chakshu. That's what he says, that I find it difficult, Samantat Diptan or Dipta Anal Arka Dhyutam Aprameyam, Dipta Anal. That means it's like fire illuminating. There's like a big fire, like a jungle fire that's illuminating. And Ark Dhyutam, that means, and this light is immeasurable. I can't say it was bright, it is like beyond bright. It's too much, So, and this expanse is too much, Aprameya. Aprameya. Prameya is something that can be known. Aprameya means that cannot be known. See, when we talk about pramans, how do you know something? We can say either we know through senses, which is pratyaksha, that I have seen it, I have touched it, tasted it. So that is a pratyaksha praman. Through my senses, I have done that. Or we say through anuman. Anuman means that we say, okay, it is like a horse, but much smaller, so we can, if we are describing a donkey and or something else, we say like that, or we, no, that is upma, sorry. Anuman is where we have seen a logical stuff. Like, say, if we get up in the morning and our courtyard is wet, then we say, okay, it must have rained in the night, because where will water come from? So that is Anuman. So that's how we know something. And Upaman is where we compare it to something, So if somebody is trying to, had never seen a wolf, they say, oh, it is like a dog. It's like Alsatian dog, but it is much fierce, So some way we have some kind of understanding, So that's the, but Arjuna says, what I am seeing is aprameya, because who will compare, where is other Vishnu that I can compare it to? Where is other Brahmaji that I can compare it to? So there is nothing that can be that it can be compared to, that it can, be known otherwise. So wherever I see light. Wherever, and I see forms, your forms only. So whatever I heard from the rishis, from our, gurus, whatever they have told me, I am seeing it firsthand now. So it says, I have inferred, I have concluded with that this is a direct experience. It is a undoubted confirmation that this is how it is. So you are the Lord of Lords. That's the Vishweshwara. So that's how Arjuna is explaining that. And कहता and there is absolutely no doubt in my mind anymore of your glory, that you are the Bhagwan. You're the, but with your grace, I am seeing your yoga in Yoga Shakti. See here, when Bhagwan was describing the vibhutis, it was different things, right? He said, I am uh, in the rishis, I am Narad, in this, I am this. So he was describing his, but it was not how it is possible that one person or one entity has so many forms. So that's what he realizes, and that is called the Yoga Shakti. When we talked about in the 10th chapter, Bhagavan says, I'll talk about my yoga and vibhuti. Yoga is the power through which this expanse has happened. You see the whole universe or multiple universes. So, and that's what Bhagwan is telling Arjuna, that you can see that in one part of me. That means it is right here in front of you. It's not like something that's hidden, but you don't have the ability to see it. That's why Bhagwan says you need that Divya Chakshu. So, so, uh, so now he says, Tvamaksharam paramam veditavyam. It is like he's so uh, awestruck. I have hard time even describing it. So Tvamaksharam, Tvam, you are that Akshara Brahma, that we studied in the 8th chapter. So, and Param Veditavyam. That means Veditavyam means that which should be known, that which we should try to understand it. We should, though we may not understand it, but it is the most important thing to know. Tvamasya Vishwasya Param Nidanam, Tam Avyayah Shashwata Dharma Gopta. And let me explain all that to you. And Sanatanastvam Purusho Matomi. Now I know that Tvam Aksharam, and not just Akshar, you are Paramam Aksharam. So that is what Bhagwan has said in the 8th chapter also. It says that Aksharam Paramam, Aksharam Brahma Paramam. So what is that Akshar? Akshar is Brahma. When we say Akshar, we usually think of Om, but here it is that which cannot be broken, that is indivisible. Akshar means to break. Akshar means that which cannot be broken. Tvam aksharam paramam. You are that supreme Akshar. You are that supreme Om through which the whole universe has come about. You are that Avinashi. You are imperishable. You are that immutable Brahman. So all this he is seeing it. And you are Paramam. And Paramam can go with both Aksharam and Veditavyam. That means it is the most important thing to know. And also it is the Paramam Aksharam, that you are that. And what is because there are so many things in this world to know. We say, okay, I should know this, but what will it get me? By studying this, I get certain things. If I become, I study medicine, I become a doctor. I can cure people. Or if I study finance, I can do investments or whatever, there are 100 different things. But is that the goal of life? The goal of life is to find end of sorrow. What is it that will bring end to my sorrows or sufferings? So this is what uh, he's saying. That is why it is the most important thing to know. So Paramatma is param satyam. That's param veditavyam. This is got to be done. It's a very important thing. That's why it is emphasized here, because knowing which, this is called tarati shokam or tarati mrityum, that you go beyond death or change. You understand your own nature as changeless. See, right now we have understood our nature to be continuously changing. What I was 10 years ago, I am a different person now. In a different person in the sense, physically. Mentally also, I have changed. I have changed, So we are constantly evolving. Good or bad doesn't matter. But it is a change that is happening. So, and you are the param nidhana. Param nidhan actually is normally used for treasure. You are the ultimate treasure, and also it means support. So you are the support of this universe, and you are the wealth of this universe. You are that, because when Mahapralaya happens, then the whole universe, along with all the causal effects, the Karana Sharir, it all merges into Bhagwan. And when the Sarga starts, when the creation happens, all that becomes the re-manifested. All that comes. It's like, we have so many thoughts during the day, but when we go into sleep, what happens? Then zero thoughts. We have zero thoughts. When we wake up in the morning, slowly all the thoughts come back. I have to do this, do that. So that's the thing about creation also. So when the pralay happens, which is the dissolution of this universe, all the jivas along with their karan sharir go back to that. And when it's like a long sleep, because they say Brahmaji ki one night of Brahmaji is like thousands and thousands of yugas, like the whole Mahayugas. So so think about that. So, and Jeev is what? Jeev is the karma phala, gati, vasana, karan sharir. All this is what Jiva is, So with that alone, it is born again. Born again means it re-emerges, So this is the womb of creation. Bhagwan is that womb where all this creation is happening. That's why Arjuna is calling him Aksharam Paramam. See, one thing is to know about it, one thing is to actually, it's like you hear about that in an atom you have electrons and protons and neutrons, but you go under an electron microscope and you are able to actually see things in action. That's a very different experience. Then you never forget about it. So it's like, so it is, but also this is pointing to Bhagwan's Nirakar Roop. See, we say Bhagwan is both Nirakar and Sakar. Saguna Sakar also and Nirgun Nirakar also. So in the the Akshara form, he is the uh, he is the Nirgun Nirakar Roop. So he's talking about that also. And now in the Saguna Sakar also he is seeing that. So he says, Tvam avyayam shashvat dharma gopta. Now this is very important word. Shashvat can go with both dharma and gopta. Gopta means that which protects. So, in the fourth chapter, we saw that yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata, so that when the dharma is on the decline, Bhagavan says, I come and protect it. Or Bhagavan is not creating a new dharma. Understand, every time Bhagavan comes, he is not creating a new dharma. Dharma is shashvat. Dharma is eternal. So this is something we have to understand, that this is, see, if dharma of the world is not shashvat, then physics and chemistry and any other science will not be possible, because everything is following their particular guna dharma. Whatever they are supposed to do, they do that. Sun is supposed to do this light and heat, it is doing that. If you think at a all the elemental levels, water is doing its water qualities. It has the qualities of water has not changed from Satyug to Kalyug. We may have polluted the water, that's a separate thing, but the quality of water, the H2O is still H2O, right? So that has not changed. So everything in the element form is Shashwat and Sanatan also. That means it is unchanging. The laws of physics, at a macrocosmic level, or the chemistry for that matter, how the things react to each other is Shashwat. It is going on. So when Bhagwan said, I restore the dharma, it is basically for humans only. We are the one who deviate from our dharma. Everything else follows their dharma without any exception. That's the thing. Because the dharma is shashwat. That is what we have to understand. It's not like Bhagavan says, okay, let me start a new version of this religion or something. It's not like that. Dharma is dharma. So let's understand this dharma a little bit. Let me explain, try to explain. So it is the quality, property, laws of the nature, the righteousness, all these things are eternal. They are not something that change with the time. We say, oh, अब नया time आ गया, things are different. No, no, no. The dharmas are same. The Panchbhuta dharma is the same. Think about body. The dharma of a kidney is always dharma of a kidney. If the kidney dharma is changing over time, then the doctors will constantly be struggling. This is kidney version 2.0 or kidney version 7.0 or 7.3.2. So never, it is the same. The dharma is same. The dharma of a heart, the muscles, the everything is shashwat. So because if you think of senses also, the eyes see, right? Whether it was in Satyug or Kalyug, the eyes will do the same thing. The tongue will do what it is supposed to do. So that way we have to understand dharma, that whether it is organs of a body, whether it is the stars, everything is following a certain rhythm. They are following a certain order, they're following a certain law. Even the trees, for that matter, the oak tree will always be a oak tree. you know uh, a mango tree will always be a mango tree, depending on what seeds we choose. So same way with the animals, the pashu pakshi. Think about the mana buddhi chitta ahankar also. So they also have their dharma. The man is supposed to be sankalpa vikalpa. It does that in from time immemorial. That's what it has done. Same thing with buddhi is doing its job, of nishchayatmaka, to decide, to know uh, that this is it, this is A, this is B, this is C. So that's what buddhi does. Same thing with chitta and ahankar. So and same with body cycles, we say asti jayate vardate vipiriniye viparniyate, so or um, so the cycle of it exists, it is born, it grows, it decays, or it changes, and it decays, and then it dies. So this is the cycle, and this cycle is eternal. So if you think about dharma as a duty also, like we say parental duties, or the duty of a teacher, or duty of a king, all these are also universal. We may not follow it. So that is why they say that dharma of humans is the problem, that we don't follow the dharma because nobody teaches us. It has to be taught, it has to be understood. So same thing with ethical and moral values, they are universal. It's not like speaking truth was okay in that time, but now it is very difficult. That's not it. Speaking truth is speaking truth. Say these are the good cultural values. They are also same. They follow, there's no change in that. We may or may not follow it, is a different story. So no change in dharma. Same with akash, vayu, and all that. So you are the timeless dharma gupta. That means timeless sustainer of the dharma. Things are happening because that's how you have set it up. Um, and I was thinking one more example is like electricity. So the dharma of electricity is same, but what it does is it can power so many different um, equipments or different appliances. So the same thing goes here as well, because you get a new gadget, we we need to learn about it. We need to understand, they say operating manual, we have to understand. If we don't do that, what will happen? We will spoil that gadget. So this is what happens to us. We don't try to understand that. So that is the thing. And if you think about this particular verse itself, it is such a it is like a stuti of Bhagwan. Kiritinam gadinam chakrinam cha tejo rashin sarvato diptimantam pashyami tvam durniriksham samantam deeptanal anal dyutim aprameyam. So this is how he does it. And now, um, because he has seen only the positive stuff. Now Bhagwan says, okay, let me change the channel a little bit, show you that it is not all um bright and stuff, that I am also, all the what do you call it, dangerous stuff too. I am also the one that will give you fear. So that's where the next verse starts. It says, we will just do the uh, small part of it, and then we'll do more details in the next class. कहता है अनादि मध्यांतम अनंत वीर्यम. Viryam is the power. Your ananta, your power is endless. Anadi, you are beginningless. You are madhya anta. There is no middle, and you are everything. And you are, all the power is your power only. So ananta viryam, your ananta bahu shashi surya netram. So you have endless hands. Endless hand means every hand is your hand. Everything, that means the ability to do something is in your hands only. You are that. Ananta bahu shashi surya netram. That means your power is so much that the light that is coming out of your eyes that I see is sun and moon. So Shashi Surya Netram. Or you can say the sun and moon are your eyes, and pashyami tvam dipta hutasha vaktram, that I am seeing your mouth made up of agni. That means fire is coming out of it. It's like a very scary thought, because you know when you do a yajna, you do yajna uh, around fire, right? In the fire, you put ahutis, So Bhagwan is the one accepting all the ahutis. So his mouth, where everything is being accepted. So Bhagwan is made up of Agni. The mouth is made up of Agni. You know, Swatejasa Vishwamidam Tapantam. So I am seeing uh, that the all the pranis of this world are, tapana is like, you can say it's suffering, or you can say uh, the what's the other word for it? Tapantam, so you are the, because of you, this world is experiencing pain, you know. So you are that Pashami Tvam, I am seeing you, that Dipta Hut Asha Vaktram. We talked about that. You are your mouth is like fire, and uh, and so it's not all the positive stuffs, all the negativities is also you. That means everything that you are is, because we don't understand you, because we don't see your brilliance, we are also seeing the negative side of things. But this verse has more meaning. Uh, we'll work on it um, in the next session, but let me conclude, then we can talk about it. ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. All right.